Good morning, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. It is so nice to see many of you joining us for our webinar this morning. Today is about ensuring each of you have the resources and tools, plus ideas and insights for running a winning campaign. But before we get started, I want to run through just a few housekeeping items. Just to ensure that we can hear the speakers clearly, we are going to ask everyone to please stay muted. Also, we will be recording today's webinar and we will share that afterwards. And then we also have a couple raffle drawings that we're going to do, and we'll make that announcement at the end of the webinar, so stay tuned for that. And then lastly, if you have any questions or comments, please, we invite you to share those in the chat box, and then also encourage you to say hi to your fellow campaign leaders. We'll walk through the agenda here for this morning. We'll wrap up with welcomes here in a little bit. Then we'll hear an overview of United Way. Then we'll walk through the campaign headquarters and share what updates and additions we've made. We'll hear about some volunteer opportunities, and then we'll wrap up our time together this morning from hearing from a couple guest speakers. So with that, it is my pleasure to introduce to you our President and CEO, Shawna Forsberg.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. We really cannot do this work if it isn't for all of you raising your hand to share your time and talents with us during the campaign season. I know today you're going to learn a lot. We have a lot of really great content to share, but I also want to assure you that our donor engagement team is here for you. So if you have any questions or need any help with anything, please reach out to them. They're an amazing group and really excited to be part of what's going on in your organizations. So we're going to start off with just some information about why this campaign is so important, and I'll have Jill go to the first slide here. Thank you so much. So, here at United Way, we are really all too aware that this past year has really been one of the most difficult in our community in recent history. And we saw people who had never had to ask for help struggling to pay their bills, put food on the table, and keep their families safe and healthy. So we know those that entered the pandemic with the fewest opportunities are also on track to enter with the highest barriers. So I wanted to share some data with you that just helps explain where the dollars go. And I also want to assure you that as you're putting your campaigns together, if you need any data or research to help explain why giving is so important, our team is here for you. So here's some key data. Relatively small, unexpected expenses such as a car repair or a modest medical bill can be a hardship for many families. In fact, 40% of Americans have less than $300 in their savings account. So when the pandemic hit for these families, it was incredibly disruptive and right away out of the gate. And it's going to take a long haul for folks to get things back on track. We also know that affordable housing is out of reach for average renters. In our community, the average renter has to work 61 hours a week to afford a 2-bedroom unit. And so that, it's a really steep hill to climb for folks. Among the top 100 metro areas, Omaha has the highest percentage of working poor. So 70% of families in our community have at least one individual, and in many cases more than one, working to try to make ends meet. So you're really putting your dollars towards these types of, this situation and families that just need a little bit of extra help. A quarter to a third of students learning remotely in high school failed 2 or more courses in Nebraska school districts this last year. And much of that was this remote learning and COVID challenge. And 2 failed courses are really a huge red flag for how well they're progressing in their academic career. And about 1 in 4 households in our community have at least 3 risk factors that affect their ability to withstand and endure and recover from a disaster such as the pandemic. So this is where your work comes in. We're really honored to have 40,000 donors and 600 organizations and thousands of volunteers to work together to help others. And your volunteerism and being part of this is absolutely critical. So we're incredibly grateful to all of you. On this next slide, you'll see how your dollars really made a difference. So this last this last year, the dollars that we were able to bring in, we turned around and invested right here in the Omaha Council Bluffs community. And what that meant was approximately 200,000 health services. Our 211 helpline responded to 177,000 requests for assistance. We were able to provide 3.75 million meals. And as you'll see on the next slide, approximately 8,100 individuals and families received support. They could help them keep their jobs and grow their savings. 2,000 families and individuals were able to stay in their homes thanks to our housing stability program, which is a really important, program to help people stay stable. Approximately 10,000 children were served through United Way donor-funded out-of-school time programs. And this last year, our Nebraska JAG program, we were so thrilled with the progress with that group. We had 100% graduation rate with our seniors in that program. So as you can see, the support is now needed more than ever. We still have a long road ahead of us as a community to recover from the pandemic and deal with the issues that were here prior to the pandemic. So while unemployment rates are largely rebounding, the economy is really recovering at different rates for different populations. And our long-term financial resilience as a community really depends upon having a qualified workforce with living wage jobs to align with business needs. And that's where a lot of the dollars that we're investing in financial stability are going towards. We also know that housing continues to be a big challenge. We have more than 50,000 local families paying too much for rent. That means it's too much of their income, and it's making it really hard for them to afford their other essentials. We also know this learning loss is going to continue to be a challenge, and that we really need to work with kids and after school programs to help kids get caught up. And there's a really long waiting list for those programs. And that 20% of households in Nebraska and Iowa are struggling to meet their regular household expenses. So that means we have about 300,000 people in our metro that are living paycheck to paycheck. So that's where all of you come in. We can make a difference, and by working together, help a lot of really amazing people in our community. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart, from our whole team here at United Way, for being part of the effort. And, if we can be of any assistance to you, please reach out. We really feel we've got an amazing year ahead of us and are so grateful to have the opportunity to work with all of you. So thank you. And I hope you take a lot away from the rest of this presentation.
And now we'll hear a message from our campaign chairs, Lance and Julie Fritz.
Hi, we're Lance and Julie Fritz, co-chairs of the 2021 United Way of the Midlands campaign. The events of the past year, including the current recovery, are some of the most difficult times we've faced in recent memory. Amidst the pandemic, everyone has experienced personal challenges, not to mention the many challenges our community encountered. Yet, in an incredible testament to this community's caring spirit, we didn't give up and we didn't back down. Instead, we rallied together to face adversity head on. Even when we were struggling ourselves, we reached out a hand to the person next to us and said, "Hey, I'm here to help."
But despite the progress we've made, the challenges aren't behind us yet. Recovery doesn't happen overnight, and for some families and local businesses, it may take months or years. We can help our community recover and rebuild by supporting the 2021 United Way of the Midlands campaign. For 98 years, United Way of the Midlands has brought individuals, businesses, and nonprofits together to help community members through crises, whether those crises are individual or as widespread as COVID-19. When you donate to United Way of the Midlands, you're joining with more than 40,000 donors to create a widespread circle of support.
And your gift will be invested in more than 100 local nonprofit programs that have been reviewed by community volunteers to ensure that their strategies and efforts will make an impact on the lives of those in need. Together, these programs are addressing social and economic disparities and meeting families' essential needs like food, a safe place to go to after school, or a stable job. And while we know that life after COVID-19 may never be the same as it was before, we also know that united, we can lift each other up and build an even stronger tomorrow.
Thank you to Lance and Julie. Hello, everybody. My name is Maureen Irish, and I serve as the Director of Corporate Relations here at United Way. I want to give you a quick overview of our organization so that you can be equipped to answer any questions you may receive during your campaign. To start with, I have a very exciting announcement. We have actually updated our mission statement. Since we last updated our mission and structure 10 years ago, we've worked with donors, thought leaders, and community partners to meet our community's needs in the most efficient and effective way possible. With your support, we've helped thousands of community members access the supports they need to thrive and grow, and the Omaha and Council Bluffs Metro has grown stronger as a result. Yet, as we saw this year during the pandemic, the needs of our community are constantly evolving and changing, and in order to meet those needs, we knew we needed to as well. That's why we spent the last year revising our strategic plan with a task force of community leaders and partners. We are thrilled to share that these revisions include refined organizational strategies and the mission statement you see here: to unite our community's caring spirit to build a stronger tomorrow. We feel this mission really reflects the nature of our work. Here at United Way of the Midlands, we know it can be difficult for a single donor to address all the challenges our community is facing, requiring research, time, and funds that may be in short supply. And that's where we can help. For the past 98 years, we've used our community-wide perspective to identify local needs that are going unseen or unmet. And then we partner with businesses, nonprofits, government organizations, and people like you to tackle them. It truly takes a team effort, and that's why you'll see this theme reflected throughout our messaging this year. Now, what does this look like? Well, when someone makes a gift to this year's campaign, they will be investing in more than 100 local nonprofit programs alongside thousands of other community members. These programs are addressing pressing social and economic disparities and providing essentials that people need to thrive, such as healthy food, a safe place to go after school, and job support. This means that with just one donation, a donor is creating an entire circle of support around our community. On this next slide, you'll see our United Way at a glance visual. We know that our donors are really looking for a trusted partner who helps them make a real difference. So we wanted to share how we make the most of each and every gift. First and foremost, we are local, meaning that your donations stay right here in our community. We're efficient. We meet the Better Business Bureau standards for nonprofit efficiency, meaning that we keep our costs low and invest most of your dollars back into the programs that help those who need it most. United Way of the Midlands invests more than 93 cents of every dollar donated back into our community. We're impact driven. A dedicated and diverse team of experts and community volunteers review and vet local nonprofit programs to recommend which ones receive United Way funding. This means that you can rest assured that your donations are funding nonprofit partners that efficiently address our community's most pressing needs. And finally, we're results-based. So to hold ourselves and our partner agencies accountable, we collect program outcomes, measure the impact, and share those results with you. If you have any questions, please feel free to chat in the box below and we will work to get them answered. Thank you so much. I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Andrew Matson, Senior Brand and Creative Manager here at United Way, who will walk us through our Campaign HQ site.
Thank you, Maureen, and hello, everyone. Thank you so much for being here as you prepare to run your United Way campaign. You are truly part of Team United, which is our theme this year, and you are joining us to change the lives of people in need here in the Omaha Council Bluffs Metro. The work you're doing is truly amazing and so vital, and we're here to help you get that work done together as a team. I'm excited to share the Campaign HQ with you today. We have two ways to access our campaign headquarters. There is a link on our homepage that you can find by scrolling down, or by using this drop-down menu and selecting Campaign Headquarters in the upper right-hand corner. Last year, we really beefed up this page to offer as much information as many resources as possible, since so many people are holding their campaigns virtually. And this year, we've added even more resources and some fresh new ideas to make it as easy as possible for you to run a winning campaign, whether that campaign is in person or virtual. I'm not going to talk through everything today, but I'm going to walk you through each section and call out some specific information that is new or that we think will be especially helpful. If you have any questions while I walk through the site, please enter your questions into the chat and we'll answer them as best we can. So welcome to the campaign headquarters. Before I scroll through, I want to point out on this menu bar here that we have that hopefully makes it easier to navigate and help you find what you're looking for a little bit faster. And here we do want to extend our special thanks once again to Lance and Julie Fritz and the Union Pacific team for partnering with us this year. So let's get started. First off are our awesome donor engagement representatives who are here to support you this year. So give them a ring whenever you want to brainstorm, have an idea, or are ready to get your campaign off the ground. Our Steps for Success section is for those who are new to running a campaign or just want a quick refresher. It's a simple step-by-step guide to help you get started from start to finish. New to this section is our campaign checklist, which we hope serves as a great resource for you as you work to ensure you have everything ready to get your campaign off the ground. We also have some video presentations from a few of our amazing corporate partners who have incredible insights to share about what they've learned from their own campaigns, with tips like how to better engage your employees, take your campaigns to the next level, and so much more. Thank you to these speakers for sharing their wisdom. These videos are terrific, and I recommend you take a few minutes to watch them. So for campaign ideas, no matter where your team is working, there are still plenty of fun ways to engage them. This section has tons of different virtual and in-person fundraising ideas to help you get started and for you to modify your needs. You can download an entire list of ideas here. We included some information on virtual tools in this section. Many of us are getting pretty used to using tools like Zoom, but we wanted to call out a few others. I want to specifically point out MobileCause on here. This is a virtual fundraising tool that we use to create custom donation forms, event pages, and text to give opportunities. And this is open for your team as well. We've worked with several awesome local partners, including Conagra, Valmont, and OPPD, to create custom online fundraising opportunities for their employees, allowing them to handle less cash and more easily track the dollars raised, and to offer a simple, convenient way for your team to give in the moment. If this sounds interesting to you, please let your donor engagement rep know. And if you click here, you'll find an information doc that explains how MobileCause works in more detail so you can determine if this is going to be a right fit for you. Now we have our Pick a Partner section. This is the second year we've offered Pick a Partner, and it's really a great way for you to take your campaign seamless, make your campaign seamless and special. By working with our fundraising partners, you can raise money for a good cause, support local business, and save yourself time and effort. If you're looking for a fun way to switch up your campaigns this year, this is it. If you click under each item, you'll be able to download a page with more of the nitty-gritty details you need to know about these partnerships and how they work so you can determine if they're going to be a good fit for your team. This includes contact information, the description of the fundraiser, the options to choose from, how it can be promoted, and when it's available, and how the financials will work. Next is our materials section, where you can access all of our campaign materials. New to this section this year are these plug and play campaign guides. We have a lot of resources and materials to choose from, so if you're looking for recommendations as to when to use these materials throughout your campaign, these guides are for you. We have 3 different options, one for a week-long campaign, a month-long campaign, and then one for those companies that fundraise all year long. In our pledge forms, you can download and print any of our pledge forms here. Our campaign brochure for this year is on here in our print materials section, as well as our funded programs list, some one-pagers and brochures, and a printable table tent. You can also reach out to your donor engagement rep to get some of these materials that are already printed, and they will work with you on that. For emails, the email document we have has some copy and templates for you to use when communicating with your employees, including community need stats and success stories. And speaking of success stories, in our images and graphics, we've talked about how our theme is Team United. So if you think that'll resonate with your team, you can use these visuals to help drive that home. These images can be used in email, on social, your internet, simply printed out, posted in your space, or used in your own materials if you're creating those. I also wanted to call out the stories in an image section. These are all stories from individuals and families in the Metro who have been through some really difficult circumstances, but with the support of United Way donors, got the assistance they needed to build a better life. These are really inspirational and moving, so I recommend looking through these and sharing the ones that speak to you with your team. In videos, we went ahead and put all of our different videos, including the training videos we talked about earlier, onto one page to make it easier to find what you're looking for. And to make finding the newest videos the easiest as possible, we've put all those on the very top under each section labeled new videos. So in the first section, we have client story videos that have been shared with us with our partner agencies. Like the stories in an image I pointed out, these are stories about people who have gone through some really hard times and needed support to get back on their feet. And it's very moving to hear their story from in person and hear how they've been helped by donors like you. If you have the ability to share these videos with your team throughout your campaign, it'll definitely show them the impact that their donation is making in our community. Then we have our agency speaker videos. Some of you may have worked with our nonprofit partners before to have an agency rep come out and speak to your team and share the needs in our community and how their gift makes a difference. With COVID, it's been a little bit trickier, so we've asked our agency partners to make a video featuring what they would present at a company like yours. You can still request in-person agency speakers as well. And here we have some United Way community videos that speak to the needs in our community and share some success stories too. You can send these to your team, play them at an event, however you want to use them. And we do know that not everybody is able to access YouTube through their work internet. So there's also a button on the bottom of each section that you can click that'll take you to a site where you can actually download these directly. For our success stories, this is a PDF featuring several stories from people in our community who've benefited from United Way donor investments. Stories are one of the most powerful ways to communicate impact to your team and inspire them. So we recommend looking at this document as you start planning because these are really moving. And next we have our blog. So we also have some volunteering opportunities listed on here. Volunteering is a great way to give back to you and to help your team connect. Explore ways to give your time even while social distancing or virtually. In just a moment, I'll hand things off to Danny Ullman, our Director of Volunteer and Corporate Relations, and she'll walk through all the different opportunities here in more detail. And in the final section we have on this page is our leadership giving. We have information about our different leadership giving and affinity groups here. So we invite you to explore these links to learn more. And that brings us to the end of the campaign headquarters. We will continue to update this page with new materials, so check back often. And if we have any big push, we will also reach out and let you know. So if you have any questions about headquarters, where to find things, please go ahead and enter your questions in the chat. So thank you so much. Now I'm going to pass this off to Danny, who, as I mentioned, will share some information about the many ways that your employees can support our work through volunteerism this year. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much, Andrew. Good morning, everybody. My name is Danielle Ullman, and I'm the Director of Volunteer and Community Relations at United Way. I am so excited to have the opportunity to talk to you about volunteerism today. Volunteer engagement is very important at United Way, and we are always working to provide opportunities for our donors to help in the community and to learn more about the impact their United Way dollars truly have. So today I wanted to provide a brief overview of some of the different ways your company can get involved. United Way of the Midlands launched the Good on the Go program in August of 2018. Our Good on the Go program focuses on the assembly of different kinds of kits. Companies can choose from a number of different kits, such as hygiene kits, literacy kits, STEM kits, homeless outreach kits, and more to assemble at their workplace. So to date, our community partners have assembled and donated over 3,000 kits to organizations throughout our community. These events have been very well received by companies because we bring the opportunity to your location. This alleviates the need for volunteers to have to drive to a different location to volunteer. This also allows individuals who may not be able to leave the office the opportunity to participate. These have become great team building events for groups of all sizes. United Way also coordinates the delivery of these finished kits and invites the company who assembled them to join us for that delivery. This allows employees to see their project come full circle. When the pandemic hit in early 2019, it forced us to think about how we could continue with our Good on the Go program. Because we could no longer gather in groups, we had to get creative about how we could still provide a way for people to give back that continued to directly impact our neighbors and agency partners. So this led us to launch our virtual Good on the Go program. It does differ from traditional Good on the Go, but the great thing is the impact of our community remains the same. For a virtual Good on the Go, we work with companies to select the kind of kits they want to promote, and then we create a site customized to the company to share with their employees. Employees are able to learn more about each kit, what need they address, and what agencies will receive them once they are assembled. Those agencies are always chosen by the company. From there, employees and teams can purchase one or more kits to be assembled, and kit assembly would take place at United Way, where we box them up and deliver them on behalf of the company. We are really excited to have these two options in order to meet companies where they're at in a way that's easiest and safest for them. Our on-site volunteer experiences continue to be a great way for groups to get out into the community to help organizations while learning more about the agency and their partnership with United Way. We make it very easy for organizations to volunteer because we handle all of the details. Corporate partners give us their parameters, such as preferred dates, times, agencies, group size, and project types, and we work to identify opportunities that match closely with those parameters. We work closely with the company to coordinate that time, date, location, and other details, so the group only has to think about helping out the agency. We really like to attend these volunteer projects too, as it gives us the opportunity to thank our volunteers and to talk a little bit more about our partnership with the agency. This is a great way for donors and volunteers to see firsthand the work that their United Way donation supports. We wanted to share a little bit about our recent Shine Bright event. Just last week, a little over 300 volunteers from 32 different organizations helped us assemble 4,000 hygiene kits for students across the community. Each kit contained full-size hygiene items, including body wash, toothbrushes, toothpaste, and laundry detergent, even for students to take home. The kits were distributed to Omaha Public Schools, Council Bluffs Community School District, Omaha Street School, and our JAG Nebraska program. We had a great time, and our volunteers did a fantastic job of ensuring the project went very smoothly. We are super thankful to all of our sponsors that you see on our slide. We are really looking to hold another Shine Bright event in the winter, and more information will be coming in the future on that. As a reminder, Day of Caring is coming up on September 17th, and projects will be opening for sign up first thing Monday morning, August 16th on our Get Connected website. Thank you so much for your time. If you have any questions for me, put those in the chat box and I will work on answering them. But for now, I'd like to hand it back over to Maureen Irish with our donor engagement team.
Thank you, Danny. We are honored to be joined by a few guest speakers this morning. Lincoln Financial Group runs a very comprehensive and engaging campaign coordinated by two outstanding campaign managers. I'm thrilled to welcome Tiffany Eady and Mary Melvin, who will share some of their best practices and insights. Thank you both for joining us.
Hi, Maureen. Tiffany Eady here this morning. Really appreciate the opportunity to be here to represent Lincoln Financial, but just to talk a little bit about the support that Lincoln does to help lead a campaign every year to support the United Way of the Midlands. Mary and I have worked together for a very long time, and we both have had the opportunity to be involved in various United Way activities over the years. I have been with Lincoln just over 19 years now, and I can still remember significant events taking place in September, October each year that go all the way back to when I first joined the organization. And so I feel very thankful and blessed that we have the opportunity to provide the support to the United Way each year during the campaign period. Mary and I had the opportunity last year to lead our virtual rally kickoff. That was the first time Lincoln had ever done anything for the United Way campaign 100% virtual. So it was a little scary. We had awesome support from Mindy and Maureen, our donor engagement reps, and we were just overly surprised at how well moving virtual went, as many of you probably are encountering yourselves and trying to think of campaign ideas. Going virtual just definitely puts a different spin on things when you can't be in person. And so a lot of what we have to do to shift gears and be ready to still provide all the support that we do for United Way is really getting creative, being very closely connected with our leadership teams. We have a great support system at Lincoln, and our leaders are typically very involved in the campaign each year, which helps us get the message out to our employees of why it's important. We look for ways to engage employees across the organization, really leaning on things that they themselves really enjoy doing. So being able to have various folks that get engaged year over year just because they really enjoy some of the activities that we put on each year. And so leaning on that talent that we have across the organization and just the overall volunteerism that the Lincoln employees show. And again, really having that leadership support is important. And so each year we engage different teams across the organization to help us plan and lead activities. We try to structure our activities throughout the year to kind of speak to the seasons, if you will. So when it's the summer months, we'll do different summer activities, things that people can do to get outside. And then as we get more into the fall time frame, doing things that are more kind of colder weather. When we were in the office, we would do chili cook-offs and things like that. So really trying to get creative around the seasons, and what can we do to just foster more engagement depending on what folks like to do at those different times of the year. But I'll pass it over to Mary here to share a little bit about some of the tools that we use and how we structure that with the different roles and volunteers that help us support the campaign each year.
Awesome. Thanks, Tiffany. Okay, so the campaign, running a campaign can be overwhelming. I think sometimes the difficult part is to get folks to commit to volunteer to help run an event. And so what we've learned over the years is that as much structure that we can provide for folks to understand what their role is and to give them support that they need so they don't feel so overwhelmed or feel like they have to wear all the hats. The first thing that the first tool that we started using last year that I thought was really successful was this outline. We asked folks that volunteered to lead events to spend a few minutes and think about the virtual event that they were trying to set up. So what in their mind did they want to accomplish, including event goals? So was there a financial goal? Was there an education goal? And then asking them what they need from us. Do they need funding for some of the activities? Do they need print materials? Do they need, so it was helping them kind of wrap their brain around the types of things that they would need to think about in setting up an event. The other thing that we learned over the years, I would say, up until about 4 years ago, the campaign leads and the event leads would run with this kind of the formal setup. They would run with communications and marketing, the finance piece, and even some of the fundraising. And what we found was we had individuals that had a skill set or a passion in each of those areas. And we would ask those folks just to take the lead on communication support across all events. So there was a consistent message thread that was being sent to the organization. And it took that load off of folks who maybe aren't as comfortable putting communication or marketing information together. The finance support and the fundraising support. So we had an individual the last couple of years who has done a lot of fundraising for her church, and she had an amazing setup, an amazing infrastructure, so to speak, on who to contact, that she's contacted in the past, what they've donated in past years, to capture what they've donated this year in terms of if there were let's like movie tickets or like Vala's Pumpkin Patch, any types of Lawrence and Gardens or the zoo. So kind of keeping track of that year over year has been a big help. So I can't suggest or recommend that approach enough. It's been really successful for us.
Yeah, and one thing, thank you, Mary. One thing I'll add kind of to what Mary was just describing there, with being virtual, and I'll tell you right now, the plan for Lincoln, and although we are looking at a return to the office in October, which will somewhat overlap with the campaign dates for our organization, we still will be doing our 2021 campaign 100% virtual for folks. So that in itself, when you are used to being in person, moving to a virtual environment, that brings a lot of other challenges and just engaging your employees. And so definitely please lean on your donor engagement reps. Mindy and Maureen have been amazing. They've helped us brainstorm, or if we ran into some roadblocks, just trying to plan an event. Talking through it with them has been extremely helpful. We've also been able to leverage some great tools that the United Way offers. Mobile Cause is one tool that we've definitely leveraged. We are finding, although we're all virtual, people are busier with things opening up more this year compared to last year. People are getting out, they've got activities for their children. So trying to keep things easy for them and how they can donate or participate in an event, and it's something that's kind of on the go, just a few clicks for them, however we can do to make it easier when we're planning these different events. So please leverage your donor engagement reps, because they are amazing and we very much appreciate their help, and really we couldn't be successful without them. So just wanted to share a couple of those pieces as well as you think about how you'll engage your folks this year.
Thank you so much, Tiffany and Mary. Really appreciate you sharing your insights. Our next guest speaker is actually United Way's very own Patrick Kilcoyne. We run our own internal campaign here at United Way of the Midlands, and this speaks to our personal investment that we have in our mission and impact within the community. Patrick serves as our Director of Leadership Donor Management, and he will be sharing some of the tips and tricks that we use internally to execute a fun and engaging campaign. Patrick, I will turn it over to you.
Thank you so much, Maureen. As she just said, my name is Patrick Kilcoyne, and I'm thrilled to be able to discuss some of what we've learned by holding our own internal campaign among United Way employees. And in reflecting on our own annual campaign, three major key factors really stuck out to me. I believe that these are principles that will work at all organizations, regardless of size and regardless of whether or not you're in person. So first and foremost, I would say that a key factor is focusing on the big picture of the potential impact the employee base can create. Towards that, it really helps to set goals when planning for the campaign. Some companies will set goals on participation percentage, total dollars raised, new donors. But in our office, our primary goal tends to be a goal on total dollars raised. And we can then have some incentives based on that. So if we as a group hit that goal, we may get some time off, such as early releases on certain Fridays. And that's a really, really powerful incentive. Another way to focus on the impact is to make sure that the mission and community impact of United Way is integrated into all activities as much as possible. We all love the fun activities, and I'll talk about those in just a moment. But it also helps to make sure that the reason why we're doing these activities stays front and center. This can be done by arranging for speakers, utilizing our videos, or distributing informational materials. But the more you can tie the fun activities to the needs of the community and the impact that can be accomplished together, the better off I think the campaigns will be. Second big tip has to do with planning the campaign itself. And our big learning is to do it together. In our office, we'll create a committee with members from every department. That group will rotate every year. This allows for us to have a lot of different perspectives, a lot of creative and fresh ideas, and also makes it so that we have ambassadors in every team and every team meeting. I'm a firm believer that the number one reason why people don't give is that they weren't asked or didn't understand the ask. So having advocates in every department really helps reach more people more meaningfully. Committees can also be a great opportunity for professional development, as people can take on project management or tracking or creation of promotional materials who might not do that in their normal day-to-day operations. So again, I would recommend reaching out to people that may be interested in helping, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with who raises their hand. But the last big tip and the funnest one is to just be creative with engagement. In our office every year, we tend to have a theme. So in recent years, we've done things around Harry Potter, superheroes, the Olympics. It's another way of keeping things fresh and exciting. And then lots of events work well, but in my experience, two kind of categories of events tend to work the best. The first type of event, anything having to do with food. We've been able to have potlucks, chili cook-offs, where you vote for a favorite chili, dessert auctions, among other things. So yeah, food works really well. The other type of event that has engaged people really well is anything having to do with competition. Sometimes we've done more traditional competitions like ping pong or cornhole tournaments, trivia events, but we've also thought outside the box with some sillier ones like developing an obstacle course, which included riding a tricycle. Not really sure where we found a tricycle that could carry adults, but we pulled it off. We've also seen like rock, paper, scissors tournaments, lip sync competitions, but really anytime you can utilize competition, it helps drive engagement. And bragging rights are great, but if you have anyone into crafts at your organization, adding in some silly trophies can be another way to increase enthusiasm. But really, I love these campaigns and believe that these corporate campaigns are at their best when we're able to simultaneously raise funds to help the community and also help build a team culture and engage employees. So again, three key factors. I'd say focus on the impact that can be made, do it together, and have fun engaging your teammates. And with that, I'm turning things back over to Jill.
Thank you very much, Patrick, as well as Tiffany and Mary as our guest speakers this morning. And thank you to each of you for making the time and joining us. If you have any questions or think of anything afterwards, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're here to help you be successful this year. We will follow up after today's webinar with an email that will include the link to the Campaign HQ, the recorded session, so you can share that or go back and reference anything that maybe was discussed or shared today. And then also it will have a short survey that we would appreciate your feedback. It just helps us keep us informed as to how best to provide the information and resources for you moving forward. And then also, we would love for you to share your campaign photos with us so that we can celebrate you on social. So you can either tag us, or you can send them to your donor engagement rep, or you can email them to us at thatkindoftown@gmail.com. Then also, I just want to quickly just kind of give you a highlight of our upcoming events, how you can engage with us in a different way. Our campaign kickoff is August 26th at the Slowdown, and that's hosted by Union Pacific. Day of Caring, we're excited to bring that back this year and be hosting that. That will be on September 17th, and just an opportunity to get out in the community and to give of your time. Then Emerging Leaders are holding their golf tournament, Golf for Grads at Terra Hills on September 24th. Our annual meeting this year will be at the Downtown Hilton on October 29th. And then if you are looking for something to do the night before Thanksgiving, our Blue Collar Boxing event will be held at the Ralston Arena. Before we wrap up, and we're actually going to be able to give everybody back some time today, our two raffle winners for our drawing. And those are items that you can use as either incentives for your campaign, or they could be possibly additional auction items. But the winners are Elizabeth Zeller and Patrick Brookhauser. So your donor engagement reps will be contacting you and getting those items to you. So congrats. And as we close this morning, we very much appreciate each and every one of you. I know this is a bit cliche, but since our theme this year is team, there is no I in team. Each of you plays such an important role and are key to the overall success. You don't just talk the talk, but all of you walk the walk. You put the time, effort, and heart into your campaigns, this community and United Way. We are truly humbled by the generosity that each of you inspire within your organizations. And as we start the new campaign year, we need all of your continued support to help make our community strong. Please know that we are here to help you and your communities be successful. Go Team United. Have a great rest of your day and week. Thanks.